Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Nothing But the Truth with me, your host, presidential candidate for 2028, Reverend Dr. Brett Allen Dillon. I want to start off by saying that I've seen a lot of comments that people have made about my hair, this, that, and the other. Well, it's because I had it braided, but I took it out. And just for all of you who don't know, it's the true warriors in history and the true fighters for freedom, for their people, and to actually save and protect were the ones with long hair. It was the Romans who started with the short hair. And we all know where that led. I mean, hell, they claimed Christianity. So, just saying. But a true warrior has long hair because I'm willing to fight for each and every one of you. I'm here to stand for each and every one of you. If you guys aren't aware or have not seen any of my campaign videos and podcasts that I did, for 2023 and 2024, they're available on gcdnetwork.com. But I want you guys to know that the things that I say, I actually mean. The things that I've predicted have come true. And this was last year. So when I say that my show is called Nothing But the Truth, there's a reason for it. It's because I'm not going to sit here and just tell you something that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, what the truth is, not something that's been whitewashed, not something that's been watered down, not something that's been filtered, not something that's been, Trump approved, because apparently now that's where everything is heading in this country. I mean, let's just look at his first address to Congress. Now, one of the first things that he addressed was the whole thing, with like Ukraine and all that. Now, it was funny because it was just a week, no more than a week and a half prior to that him and Vance kicked Zelensky out of the White House, like not just Oval Office, the whole White House, just like, told him, get out. And, now all of a sudden he's flip-flopping back to, oh, well, yeah, it wasn't Zelensky that started the war. And, so my question is that where does his actual loyalties lie, and where does he actually make his decisions? Or better yet, who is making those decisions for him? And the reason why I say that is because it seems to me like how everybody called Joe Biden a puppet president because all he did was read from flashcards. Well, now we have Must-Be and Jeff Dunham. If you're not familiar with him, that's your ventriloquist. And he's got two different puppets which kind of wrap up Trump. One's called Peanut, little odd, kind of out there. And then there's Walter. Trust me, look him up, you'll understand. But majority of the time, unless, because obviously Elon couldn't, give Trump's speech to Congress like he did in the Oval Office during the one interview where he did all the talking majority of the time. Oh, that's right. There's been at least 3 times that's happened. So my question is who's actually speaking and whose decisions, whose thought process, and whose loyalties lie where. And that's right. It's the same thing as he did during his first term as president, where he didn't take the presidential salary. Yeah, because he was too busy making backdoor deals with other people that, either while he was or president, or if he didn't make, you know, a second, a back-to-back win, then whenever he came back, that it was guaranteed. So yeah, here's my problem though, is that Trump right now has no clue what he's doing, or whoever's, puppet mastering it, because his speechwriter sure as hell is not doing him any favors, unless it's, him dictating to him, because this whole thing about peace between Putin and Zelensky, here's the problem, is that part of the lands that Trump wants to allow into the agreement for Putin partially resides, and has access to the nuclear power plant, although the nuclear power plant still remains on Ukraine soil. Well, last time I checked, Putin should give back all of Ukraine soil. And I believe that he should be paying reparations, same as when America goes into other countries and we blow shit up and destroy things and demolish things. We pay those countries to help rebuild them. So why should he not be held accountable to the same thing, to the same standard? Oh, that's right. Because, Trump still has his, poster of Putin, hanging on his ceiling, like girls do for boy bands. Because Trump even said before that, oh, me and Putin are friends, we have an understanding. Yeah, everybody's starting to understand. You want to be him or like him. So, and here's why. Right now, Zelensky's having a lot of problems with this deal that Trump is claiming for peace. Now, in this peace settlement, at least right now, it's a semi-ceasefire, but oh yeah, that's right. Putin apparently forgot about the ceasefire and decided to blow more shit up, so that way he could, try to at least destroy, what Zelensky was getting. So let's not forget that aspect. Then we have Trump, who's, yeah, great. He's good at negotiating real estate, but there's a difference between negotiating, where to put a high rise in Manhattan or Broadway or, the Upper East Side versus taking people's ancestral lands from them, taking, where their families are buried, where their homes are, where their livelihood is, where there's still stuff that they can get back to, but you're just going to give it away? No, that's not your place. That's where the UN needs to come in, because Trump is not the person to broker this deal in any way, shape, or form. It should involve two factions, the UN and the World Court. That's where it should be decided, because Trump has, he might have skin in the game because, we get imports and we trade with Ukraine and everything else. But problem here is that where's he going, who's he going to take a better side with? Is it going to be whoever comes up with something good for him or something that benefits him? We don't know right now because he doesn't even know. That's why I'm saying it needs to be, number one, it needs to be the Peace Corps and UN trips there. NATO needs to go out there. Plain and simple. Peacekeepers and NATO. Because if there's supposed to be a ceasefire, then the rest of Europe, who's part of NATO and everything else, they should step up and say, hey, he's right. If there's supposed to be a ceasefire, how about we actually give them incentive to, I don't know, maybe stop shooting each other, to maybe stop, it's kind of like what happened in Vietnam, okay, where they had told America that, oh, hey, you know, this is a special holiday to us, yada, yada, yada. And then they attacked us. We got our asses kicked. Well, seems like Putin took a page out of Vietnam's book. So I'm just saying, this is a very slippery slope, people, and it's dangerous. There's a better way to handle it, at least from my point of view of how I would handle it, is that Trump right now is not the most powerful man in the world, as most other presidents were saw prior to, Biden and Trump. But I mean, Trump's first term, there were some things that he messed up on, but not as bad as this term. But I could tell you, he has made our country look weak for the first time, especially pulling away from the rest of the world. While, he's also trying to play matchmaker, not only between Putin and Zelensky, but between himself and Netanyahu, as Netanyahu increases attack on Gaza Strip, because Trump told him, hey, I want that real estate. I guess, he's going to feel better having a hotel with, the name Trump on it or something. Who knows why he wants to put it there? But we have no business taking that land. He has no business, not we, but he has no business taking that land. Greenland. He's trying to take Greenland. We do not own Greenland. Greenland's never been a part of America. I mean, it was established centuries ago, when there was, an actual, voyage there, and they found out that Greenland was, because America had found one side and they thought that, Greenland was two separate islands, but it's one piece. And so because the Danish were there first, it's theirs. So that's what I'm trying to say, people, is that he's so worried about everything else besides detaching us from the world, but then trying to mingle in the world's business. Whatever happened to America first? Whatever happened to, oh, hey, I want to make sure that your kids are able to eat. I want to make sure that you're able to afford the gas to go to work in order to pay for the food in order for your kids to eat. What happened to lowering the prices? What happened to price freezes? What happened to all these things that he's promised? He's been so busy with, helping Elon get rid of any competition and doing, and I'm going to say it, Trump and Elon have been doing an ethnic cleansing of all government officials and employees because of them getting rid of, Trump getting, well, no, I'm going to say them getting rid of DEI because every single solitary DEI employee, federal employee, Republican or Democrat, was fired, or I'm sorry, they were asked to resign. Whoever, no matter which side you were on, no matter what party you're from, but if you were a part of the DEI program or enforcement and everything else, even in the military, you were reassigned to a different unit. So where is this going to end? Because, let's look at it. Elon Musk is from South Africa. His parents raised him through apartheid. And when it ended, they didn't like it. So they moved to Canada. Because why? Not going to, I don't have to spell it out for you. Then it comes down to Silicon Valley where, and then down to Texas and everything else. So, but point being is that Trump, he's been a proven racist. And if you don't believe me, look at the fact that, he, and yeah, I'm still going to bring it up because it's true. You can find it. He actually called for he paid for a full page ad in every newspaper in America calling for the death sentence for teenagers back in, I believe it was 1988 or 89, when the gentleman, or the young gentleman then, but once they were released, they were adults, were not even guilty, to where they never even did anything wrong, and they were exonerated. And Trump still to this day says, well, they could have been a part of it. He won't let it go. I'm just telling you, that's how, but so those two together, it's toxic. If you don't believe me, look at what's going on. That means that them literally dismantling all DEI. There's people who are losing jobs in corporations that they've held for a long time and proven, as Trump said, that they should be hired and have that job based upon their merit and based upon their skill set and ability to do the job. Then why are people getting fired who are good at doing their job, who have earned that merit, not due to their race, creed, color, sex, sexual orientation, ethnicity, nothing to do with that. But they've done the job upon the job description. So does that mean that the next thing to go is equal opportunity employment? Because that's what it kind of sounds like these two are hinting at. Think about it. If they're going to get rid of DEI, which means that they are making it clear to colleges that they no longer will follow the DEI practice. They will no longer have the DEI rule. That means that the good old boys can go back to being the good old boys and making sure that, they keep, as they always like to put it, the questionable ones out. Oh, but yeah, you want to come and play football and, win championships and everything else, for your school and this, that, and the other. But hey, don't you dare show them a diploma from here because, you're not real alumni. You just played sports. That's how everybody's going to go back to being looked at. This here is such a backslide in the civil rights movement that was fought for and paid for in blood, in deaths, in beatings, in brutality, in assassinations. There's so many people who sacrificed their life for civil rights and for something like DEI to be around. And now you have two racist butt buddies who are, and please don't think that, don't take the butt buddies thing offensively. What I mean by that is that they're joined at the hip, and they're so far up each other's ass. You don't, where one starts and the other one stops. So it's just that it's been toxic for America. Look at everything that's been happening. Instead of this reprieve of inflation. Anybody bought eggs lately? Anybody, been seeing milk going up? Anybody been seeing, I don't know, the price for chicken, for pork, bacon, certain other items? I thought it was supposed to be a decrease, not totally sit there and demonize Biden by making him out to be, this horrible person like Jimmy Carter, who, because that was, besides Biden, Jimmy Carter was probably like one of the only other worst inflations that we had in modern times. So that's an issue. But now things are still getting worse. There is absolutely nothing getting better. Nothing. Because Trump's worried about his boyfriend in Russia, his best friend in, or I'm sorry, his hero, in Russia, his best friend in Israel, and thinking that, we're just going to be completely invaded by, Central and South America. 100%, like everybody's come over the wall like an ocean. And, oh, by the way, have any of you guys seen any of like these crazy people from asylums and prisons and everything else, coming across and being sent across? Anybody? Yeah, me neither. Because I'll tell you what, they would have had that in news faster than they had like the Haiti woman that was supposedly eating the cat. So, which was fake news. And yes, you guys can look that up, because your good old boy, Vice President Vance, even said that he was the one that had somebody create the, video with the false title underneath of it and everything else. So yeah. But again, here's my problem. When are you guys going to be taken care of? See, my first priority when I'm elected is going to be to make sure that not only is there a fair market, which means I am sick and tired of the 1% who sit there and clear billions upon billions upon billions in the black every year because they can't be happy with themselves only getting, you know, hell, even $500 million a year. They wouldn't be happy with $500 million a year for their company in order to, lower the prices for the customers. No, of course not. Why? Because for them, their God is money. Just like for Trump and Elon, their God is the burning cross. I mean, money is power. So that's the problem. You guys have stopped being seen by our voted representatives. I see you. I hear you. And whether you give me a wrath of shit, in the comments, or you sit there and, just because, I'm waking you up and I'm making you angry because I'm making you realize that, Trump ain't this great old, superhero and, best thing since sliced bread. No, because otherwise we'd have in Florida, we would have American gas stations versus an ever expanding Russian gas station chain. Oh, yeah. Don't believe me? Look it up. There's proof. My thing is also, yeah, I'm not an oil, pharmaceutical, manufacturing, money hungry, tycoon, 1%er, nothing. None of them will ever be able to buy me. I am not for sale because when I'm elected, the only IOUs that I will walk into the White House with are the ones from you guys because I'm at the start of this campaign. But there's a lot of you who have known me from last year when I was campaigning. But we're starting early this time. I'm not coming in as the dark horse or the late horse, but we're still coming in here, and we're coming in strong this time. But I need you guys' help because I can't do this alone. So if you guys would like to, get a hold of the producers at GCD Network, or you can email me at Dillon, that's DILLON, 4FOR, the THE, people, PEOPLE, no spaces, no underscores, at Yahoo. So, like I said, I need your guys' help. Nobody has ever won an election, on a penny. But I'm not, because I could tell you, obviously, you guys see, what, my backdrop is. I'm not rich. I mean, right now, been trying to redo my son's room, but there's an issue. Just like you guys, I have everyday problems too. But what I want to do is help you guys. I want to start getting us to fight the corporate bastards back. Are you hearing me? I'll say it again. We are going to fight the corporate bastards back. Every single one of them. Here's the plan. I want you to listen carefully. So, we'll set it for the second week of April. Okay? So that way it doesn't interfere with Easter, nothing like that. So the second week of April, buy everything you need by Saturday, because obviously, if you've ever paid attention to a calendar, the week starts on Sunday. Just letting you know that. So get everything you need on Saturday. Put in for vacation time. Put in for personal time. And the thing is that if we make this loud enough and we make this go far enough, guess what? You cannot lose your job under a federal or doing a federal peaceful protest or a peaceful protest against the federal government and your state and the big companies, big oil, big industry, big pharma, and everything else. So make sure you got your meds, all that stuff. Now, during that week, if by chance, you forgot something or whatever, we're going to do only personal, like mom and pop shops, individually owned, no chain stores. I'm serious. Like, the only cars that I would want to see in a Walmart parking lot would be their employees for an entire week. But it would just be the managers. Because guess what? I want every single Walmart employee. I want every single Wawa, McDonald's, Wendy's, every big corporation, Visa, MasterCard, every single one. You guys put in for your vacation for the second week of April. Why? Because we are going to go a week with purchasing nothing. Do you know what that will do? That will send a message to each and every single one of those 1%ers, all those who think that they run the country, that they own you like modern day slaves, that they can treat you how you want, they can pay you as little as you want, they can do whatever they want because you need the job and everything else. Well, guess what? Let's see how they hold up to doing your job for 1 week in our customer service as a customer service representative for somebody who's unhappy with an Amazon package that didn't get there, with, disputed thing that came up on your card or whatever. Let them, do the dirty work. Make sure that they're the ones that are getting down to the dirt and the grime and, getting in the trenches to see how it actually feels. Because I guarantee you that, and the reason why I want you guys to battle against this, no matter how much seriously, go out, have fun, like, whatever. Do whatever you want. But like I said, just no gas from big corporate places, no, go to mom and pop restaurants, local grocery stores, local movie theaters, as long as it's not a chain or whatever. But what I'm saying is enjoy it, because we're going to show them for an entire week how strong the will of the American people are. So here's my question. Are you going to stand up for yourself? Are you going to show your worth? Are you going to actually say to their faces, hey, I'm a person. I have feelings. I have a voice. I have a mind. I'm tired of being your human shield, your cannon fodder. I'm tired of look at the COOs of so many companies who sit there, and customer service reps, they get yelled and screamed at all the time. But yet they don't put it in their operating manuals or procedures, which by chance wanted to let you know that there is actually a federal law that was passed, and it is due to mental health in the workplace, where it is a very stressful and high anxiety and highly emotional job, that it is required by federal law for them to provide counseling and in-house services to have somebody there in, even if it's 5 employees needed at a time, whether it's group therapy or, but I believe it's supposed to be one for every 20. So just to let you know. And also it's the fact that, I'm calling on those who work in the call centers, across seas or, in Central and South America and everywhere else. Because guess what? You're making a quarter of what they pay people here in America. And trust me, you can ask people who work for your same company what they're making, and it doesn't really meet the standard of living cost. So feel lucky. But you're actually supposed to be being paid the same wages as an American worker. That's the law. So what I'm saying is that we're going to fight for each other. Now, another thing that Trump has done is he has literally went through and gutted the Department of Education. So, and this kind of ties back in with the DEI thing as well, to where what I plan on doing, it's going to be called equal opportunity learning. But in all reality, what it's truly going to be, well, that's kind of like, equal opportunity employment, but what the bill is going to be called, the Every Child is Worthy bill. Because every child is worthy to be given access to the same exact educational tools, the same exact educational material, the same exact educational help for those who have learning disabilities, for those who have struggles and everything else, for those who, are a audible learner versus a visual learner, who are because we are learning things that are 160-year-old educational system. Yes. If you do not believe me, minus adding the different things they've figured out through the years, but it's still literally the same curriculum. It's been that way for 150 years. Actually, no, 106 years. You know how sad that is? Think about it. I mean, minus the, more, like I said, more advanced math and English and, all that other stuff. Why has nothing changed? It's because everybody wants to just nod and smile and, oh, well, I was good with it at that age. It didn't bother me at that age. Well, guess what? I'm 43. I'll be turning 44 this year. And all of us, we didn't know back then the things that we know now. And I guarantee you it would have made a difference. How many of you who, had kids in the early 2000s, now they would have had better help? Well, depending on where you live and, the value of your community. And yes, I literally do mean that. And that's in the monetary sense, not in the howdy neighbor value, not in the lowest crime value. It's economy. Is how much money does your city have, your town, your municipality? That is what it's based upon. Now, not only is the federal government to blame, but it's also the states. Because then not only is it the states, but then it breaks down to those who are in charge of the different counties, you know, and those who run the school boards for the whole county. I want you guys to research this. Yeah, I'm going to give you homework for once because I'm sick and tired of having to, just say it. I want you guys to look something up. Look up for what is the average lowest funded program in schools in every county of the United States for students. When you see the answer, obviously some of you are going to be like, oh, well, who cares? But there's a big problem with that. But also, there's also look up also what is the ratio of money distributed by county school boards. And yes, do it based upon each race percentage. You will be shocked about that answer because it appalled me. And that's why things need to change, because everybody keeps saying, oh, don't rock the boat. Everything's good. Da, da, da. But now I'm starting to see a lot of you guys start repeat the same things that I've been saying. And then, be nice if you would, drop an apology comment once in a while. Be like, hey, my bad on that one. You called it, you were right. That would be nice. But I won't hold you to it. You ain't got to. I don't hold a grudge. I'm just going to sit here and say I told you so. Because I'm not going to lie to you. And the last thing that I could tell you is right now in America, since Reagan started, well, I mean, obviously it was Nancy Reagan who started Say No to Drugs. Why? Because she knew her husband was trading fucking cocaine, for guns to the Contras in Nicaragua. That's why. She knew that he was bringing drugs in, so she wanted to make it look like, oh, no, drugs are bad. She knew what was going on. Everybody knew what was going on. Where do you think the DEA came from? They didn't just magically show up, but they were very small. Not they weren't such a big task force like they are now. Wonder why. But and we know now what's happening, and here's the problem. Every single president has said, oh yeah, war on drugs, war on drugs. But here's the problem. Their war on drugs has always been aimed at our people who, well, I mean, granted, yeah, they do have cartel members and gang members and stuff up here, that distribute and all the other stuff. But I'm going to go after where it's made. I'm going to hunt down the gangs. I want to hunt down the cartels. I'm going to destroy their labs. I want to destroy their manufacturing. I want to destroy their plants. And, except for weed. Let me tell you, I am a 420 friendly, and I can 100% tell you that I am going to be dropping weed down to below whatever Tylenol is listed at. If there's anything lower than Tylenol, that's where weed is going to be listed at. Why? Because it's God made, whereas everything else above that, not really, no. Oh, except for like shrooms and stuff. But anyway, not going to get into that. But it will be federally decriminalized. And that means a mass pardon to anyone who is a lifer just because of weed. And what's pathetic is you, California, you've legalized weed. For personal use, medical use, whatever. And still, just so you can keep making money, those prisoners who are nonviolent but are in there for the 3-strike rule when marijuana was illegal, you're keeping them in there, but your stupid asses are letting pedophiles, child molesters, and rapists out. Seriously? No wonder San Francisco has gone to hell in a handbasket. I mean, I know that they said that California would one day sink into the ocean, but I didn't think that you guys would do it yourselves personally. So, yeah, I understand that, when I run for president, those in California, there's a lot of electoral votes out there. But here's my problem. You guys need to seriously step your game up, because I don't understand how you can allow San Francisco to turn into, well, it's kind of like back in actually, no, I can't understand, because back in San Francisco, when they had Chinatown and everything else, they had the opium dens, that's when, they would look like the people who you have wandering around San Francisco, and everything else, open air drug use, no stopping it, nothing. That's pathetic. Now, that kind of stuff, I would not tolerate. And I can tell you, there's a lot of San Franciscans who would see this and they would be grasping their hands and clapping, saying, finally, someone hears us. But more importantly, let's come all the way across America. Why? Because when I fight for the 99%, that means each and every one of you. That means that those of you who have to go and say that your partner goes and works, or your child goes and works at one of the one percenters, companies, and you go off to clean that one percenter's house. Here's the thing. I guarantee you, and yes, I'm even calling out to you guys who are the house slaves. The chefs, the maids, the nannies, I mean, yeah, I can understand babysitter and daycare, but, if you're just having somebody watch your kid just so that way, you could just go do whatever, father or mother, because I'm a single father. And I can guarantee you that the only time that somebody's watching my child is either if he goes to visit his sister for the weekend, or I go somewhere, or when I used to work. That was it. But that's the thing, is that I want every single solitary 99%er to remember the week of the 6th. Remember, it will start the 6th. That entire week, no purchasing. Unless it's from, a independently owned business, or if you know that it's just a very, very local, like maybe within, just in a couple cities just around your area kind of thing, that's something different. Or if there's, two of the same restaurant but it's still family owned, that's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, the week of the 6th, I want you guys to share this. I want you guys to, I don't care if you put it on repeat. I don't care how you cut, paste, mix, and everything else but the week of the 6th, nothing is to be bought by anyone, for any of the corporate businesses, nothing. Only for local businesses, mom and pop shops, mom and pop gas stations. That means no Exxon, no Wawa, no Sheets, no, whatever you have that's, up and down your area. So that's what I'm saying. We will show them. And remember to request off work. And you know what? Teachers, you go ahead and take and call in for the week too, because guess what? Kids, you can either learn remotely or have the week off, because you know why? I honestly think that the education department and everybody from every county of every school board and every state Department of Education head honestly needs a wake-up call. So that means the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Guess what? Send a note out to all the parents that no school that week. Teachers, you have your unions. Strike. Why? Because the reason why you guys have your unions is because without them, you guys would be, I mean, you guys barely make over minimum wage as it is, even though you have a bachelor's and are teaching the education for our children and their growing minds and imaginations and music and art and everything else. You guys are important because you are the ones who are helping mold our future. But yet, you're also treated just like everybody else in the 99% who, hey, we're just going to give you a little bit. No. I mean, granted, all those, nice private school teachers and, the teachers that live, in the highly white privileged neighborhoods and everything else and the gated communities. Yeah, of course, they're going to make nice pay. But I guarantee you that you go a little bit one way, a little bit left, a little bit right, of that town, and you're going to hear where it gets not so nice. And I guarantee you that they make probably a third of what a public school teacher makes from the gated community area. Think I'm kidding? Check the facts. It's sickening. So remember, from the 6th to the 12th, we're shutting down America. That other than the mom and pop's places, it's a 6th to 12th shutdown. Let us show them for an entire week what it's like to not be able to have control over a situation, not have control over your life, not have, a say, not be able to do what you want and just sit back and relax and, have to stress all day. Let them do it for a week. But that is my time. Take wisdom from this because you guys are very important to me. And again, I need your guys' help because we will do this together. Because together we thrive. Divided we fall. So may God, Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit bless you, your family, your loved ones, your friends, protect you from your enemies, protect you from the enemy. Shalom, shalom, and assalamu alaikum.